thought that I would talk about the cycles that we go through, mostly with the seasons, like we're approaching winter. I always question why things are the way they are at certain times of the year. Why is it when you get to summer, it's just warm? When you get to spring, all the trees start to grow. Starts to get warmer overall. Because I don't think it's just what we accept, what we're told. I think there's other factors going into play. I'm like, every time you get to December, not everywhere, but why in certain places is it snowing and then other places it's not? Is it because of just being further away from the sun? Is it something else going on? Is it weather control? Is it a combination? What is it? We know that there's cloud seeding, chemical ice nucleation cloud seeding in the winter. That's why you get a bunch of snow. It's not sustainable. So when I look at the snow, I'm thinking to myself, it's going to go away because the cold cannot sustain itself. The heat will come and it'll melt away all of the snow. And why is that when you get closer to winter, even in the fall, the leaves start to fall off the tree. It's like you go to Florida, you go to certain places down south, it's not happening that way. I have good reasons to believe that the northern part of this realm is under attack, much more so than other parts, than when you go down south. There's reasons behind the logistics of what the controllers do in this reality, the operations that go into it. But that being said, when the sun passes through these nakshatras, which are portions of the sky, certain things happen. Look into Vedic astrology, sidereal astrology, and you'll find that there are 27 nakshatras, and the sun will go through these nakshatras, each one in about 13 days, a little bit more than 13 days. And I ask myself this question too: why are the holidays on certain days every year? Why is Christmas in Mula Nakshatra? Why is St. Patrick's Day in Purva Bhadrapada? Why is the 4th of July in Ardra Nakshatra? Why is Thanksgiving in Anuradha? Why is Halloween in Swati? What else is there? Why is Labor Day in Purva Falguni? Why is Easter around the time of Revati or Ashwini, around those two? It's in the spring. You see, there are programs in this reality and people just turn a blind eye to. It's like we just accept it. Oh, this is Christmas time. Now it's time to get the presents together. It's time to go shopping and get ready for the Christmas time, since Thanksgiving's over now. And then when Christmas passes, a new program comes, and people are just so quick to accept whatever's given to them without putting in more free thought. But I'm thinking, no, like this calendar that we've been given, these programs that we've been given, the snow that we've been given is coming from some other source that we're not being told. And I like to question these things because I don't see a lot of it happening. And what do you see when we go through these holidays? People tend to like to just have fun, have a good time in a different way. At Christmas, it's all about spending a lot of money on gifts and presents. On Thanksgiving, it's all about stuffing yourself, in indulging in the food, and feeling full. On Valentine's Day, it's all about love. And people, they like to have fun and go out, and it's a reason for them to just have fun and maybe block out, whatever problems they're going through at that time. Not all of it. I mean, this is very generally speaking, but I'm saying people view these holidays as just a reason to go out and have fun and not really question the deeper meaning behind anything. And that's it. And that's another thing I bring up. Why is Valentine's Day always in Dhanishta Nakshatra? You see, there's all these holidays are on certain days. If you look into these nakshatras, they're energies. And we've been given these holidays too. It's not just something that's embedded within us. It's something that was set up a certain way. And the society in many ways it feels very artificial because people are not tapping into source. They're not reaching for more of a higher potential overall. And this is why I like to bring this stuff up, because that's it. Vedic astrology is one form of higher consciousness, to know what goes on. Like, we see the sun rise every day. We're not taught what the nakshatras are. The portions of the sky where the sun passes through, and the moon will pass through a new nakshatra every single day. I like to elevate my mind and become more knowledgeable, become more wise, get more wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Because at one point, people, or the beings of older time periods, they may have been very well educated when it came to these cycles of astrology, of the nakshatras, because Western astrology won't tell you what the nakshatras are. It's a different system. Everything's 24 degrees backwards in sidereal. So just ask yourself a question, and you can tap into the forces, because that's what the nakshatras are. They're forces, certain deities that rule over these nakshatras, and it's a part of the natural process of just who we are, just existence. And from Aries to all the way to Pisces, you got fire, you got earth, you got air, you got water, then you got all these energies. Like Saturn represents restriction, Jupiter represents expansion. So I asked myself, like, why is it snowing? Well, it's possible that it may be easier to control the weather when you're in a Jupiter or Saturn ruled energy, because Jupiter is kind of like expansion, where people's minds may not be fully engaged because they're so focused on exploration and adventure and doing all these things. Their minds, and when you're in that state of mind, you're not as focused, you're not as specific and concrete on what you want to do, because your mind's all over the place. And then Saturn is restriction and control. So from December all the way until March, when you're in Sagittarius all the way to Pisces, you go through the winter signs, and it's easier to control the weather. And what do you get? You get a lot of snow. I do ask myself, I wonder what the weather would look like if they did absolutely no cloud seeding, if there was no geoengineering, no chemical ice nucleation cloud seeding. I wonder what it would look like out there. It'd probably be a lot different. Because in the spring and summer you don't see any snow. Definitely not in the summer. Maybe a couple days in the spring, and that's it. In the fall you don't really see much snow either. But the winter, it's just easy to control. And I'm just reflective. I'm thinking, like, why is this? I want to get deeper knowledge on things that we're not being told, and I use astrology as a way to do that, because those are forces. And I see, like, all right, if I was in control, if I was in charge of an operation where I can control the weather and set up an operation to get all these plans to disperse these chemicals and all these elements across the sky, like barium and whatever it is, and create all this snow. I would do it around this time. I mean, it's just, I wonder These are just things I'm wondering, you know. So we go through these cycles, and I'm not going to make this much longer, but think deeper about why things are. We're told this basic seasons. It's spring, it's summer, it's fall, it's winter. Go deeper. Look into the 27 nakshatras, because when you look at Western astrology, you're not getting that. It's very basic, and I'll have to make a chart about all these nakshatras and show it to you, because it starts with Ashwini, and it's such good knowledge to have. It's like divine knowledge, and people aren't linked into it. They're more worried about how they're going to look, or how much fun they're going to have at the next outing, the next party, going out to the club, going out to this whatever, and just looking good. And there's no substance behind it. So think about these cycles. It goes more than just the seasons. It goes more than just Western astrology or whatever you're looking at, or just basic numerology. Go deeper, because there's more to it.